Well, she may be only 14 years old, but my next guest, Canadian author Maika Branch, has already had 2 books published, including her recent fiction fantasy Sisters of Sarena. And along the way, she's also been inspiring other kids to pick up a book or even write their own. Maika Branch is joining me now from Moncton, New Brunswick. Thanks for coming on our program, Maika.
Thank you so much, Erin. I'm very glad to be here.
So let's start back at the beginning. When did you first start writing?
Well, I've always loved literature, to be able to have this own little world that I can escape to whenever the everyday problems of my life are a bit too much. And after I took a school field trip to some, well, caves and rocks that we have down here in Moncton, I fell in love with the idea that I could write about that and turned it into a story.
Tell me about the process of writing, and you say it kind of takes you away. What do you like about it?
Well, the process of writing, it's not as difficult as a lot of people make it out to be. Obviously, there is the idea, you start off with an idea, something that inspires you, and you want to write more on that, to go deeper into it. And I absolutely loved it that I had all this power. I could create a whole world out of absolutely nothing that was all my own, but I could share with other people at the same time.
And I want you to share some of that world with us now. You've released your second book, Sisters of Sarena. Tell me what it's about.
Well, my second one is a fantasy fiction. It's for young adults, so teens about my age and maybe a bit above. Depends on what they like. It follows 2 sisters, Sky and Lara, who live completely isolated in the forest they call Sarena. Both sisters are shapeshifters, and this comes into play to keep them alive when a hurricane completely destroys their home, and they're forced to move far away with a boy from the human world named Ty.
Wow, absolutely fascinating. You must have an incredible imagination. I know that you also go out to schools as well to encourage other kids to read and to write. What do you say to them?
Well, for now, I'm working on showing people how they can use reading and writing as an escape, really, and that anybody can do it. There are so many people who have amazing ideas and they really want to write, but they believe for a whole bunch of reasons that they can't. And I'm trying to teach kids that they can and how amazing it is to be able to love reading and writing the way I do.
Although you have had to make some sacrifices, I understand, in order to write. Tell me about those.
Yes, well, it is fairly busy being a full-time author. I had to give up a few extracurriculars, drama, musicals, things like that. But since it's leveled out a bit now, I've been able to get those back on, but I did have to sacrifice it. It does take up a lot of my time.
And I cannot let you go without asking, what is next for you? Are you planning your next book? Are you writing it already? What's up?
Well, we have officially decided we are considering approaching a publisher to get a second edition of our first book, Caligari Cliffs. We're looking completely open to options now. As for writing another book, well, I'm very glad to see where it takes me.
Maika Branch, you are an inspiration to young would-be authors and readers all across the country. I really appreciate you coming on our program and sharing your stories with us.
Well, thank you so much. I'm very glad to be here too.
Best of luck with your writing, Maika.
Thank you.